All right, in this installment, we're going to build a little bit more on the analogy that I used in the last video where I was talking about the used car salesman concept. I don't know if you've ever went to a car lot and bought a car. When I go, in times past, I'd want to kind of look around for myself a little while. I want to kind of look in the windshields and imagine myself in a car, maybe evaluate a few of them on the lot and decide for myself about things. And when you look over at the dealership building and you see that front door open and you see somebody in a suit and tie and they're starting to walk towards you, I'm done at that point, because from that point on, yes, some of them are high pressure sales. Even the ones that aren't high pressure sales, he's just interfered with my day of looking at vehicles. And when the man in the tie shows up, it's game over, unless I'm ready to buy a car right then. And that's when someone's in our way of thinking, if they are ready to accept Jesus in their heart right then having that guy who's a pastor and he's in the suit and the tie there, well, that might be helpful, but most of the time it's not. People just want to browse the show floor. They want to look around. They want to see what cool things are for sale. They want to see what celebrities are there. Maybe there's a cosplay contest going on. And they want to know what time that is. And it's just, they're trying to have fun that day. They're not thinking about Jesus at that moment. They're not thinking about, what their relationship is with God. They're thinking about, what's the next cool thing that I can see at this con. After all, paid for those tickets, and there's only so much time. So if they see somebody that's, even if they're not in a suit and tie, maybe they're just in a church shirt like what I'm wearing tonight, and if you leave that booth and you start walking towards them, they're going to shut down. We don't want that. We don't want to interfere with people having fun. That's not going to bring them closer to Christ. So we have always basically tried to have an open booth design. If you've ever seen pictures of where we had a 10 by 10, where it's not just a table, but there's some depth to the booth, then we would put our tables along the side, and there would be an open space that people could walk into our booth. We put colorful carpet on the bottom, just something that's inviting to let people know they're welcome to come in. In the smaller cons, where basically there's only room for a table and you're sitting behind that table, and you are separated from the people by the booth, again, you could be aggressive and stand in front of the booth and pester people as they walk in front of the booth. That's not going to help. So if people can't come into the booth, then basically what we're looking for is when people walk by the booth, maybe they're making eye contact with the booth. Maybe they're looking at some of the signage that we have going, "Nerd Church, what's that?" Now, if people just walk right past and they maybe they make eye contact, but then they book it, don't bother those people. Just let them go. If somebody comes by and they're going, "Oh, what's this?" Maybe they're still walking slow, but when they're showing an interest, then it's okay to reach out. You're not being a used car salesman when you're doing that. You're just responding to their looking in your direction with interest. And you're saying, hey, I'm here. And a lot of times, if I judge they're in a place that they, want to be contacted, then I may start a conversation with them. "Hey, what are you looking at? What are you looking at in our booth that's so interesting? I'd like to tell you about it." But if they, if it looks like maybe they're not quite there, they haven't decided if they want to engage with you or not, then I make a simple statement, which basically completely diffuses the whole mentality of a used car salesman. I'll say something simple like, "If I can answer any questions for you, please let me know." And then basically that releases them to keep right on going. I'm not forcing myself upon them. Now, of course, the church has a bad reputation of engaging in a way, when they are out in the public, in a way that's not very nice. We've all seen, people holding up Bibles on the side of the street, preaching out into the street. Nothing wrong with street preaching. I've done it myself. But when you are shouting at people going by, you're dying and going to hell, and this kind of thing is happening, basically it's not helping draw people in. It's just pushing them away. So we want to avoid the type of contact where we appear to be that used car salesman, or where we are forcing ourselves onto people. If people want to come up, that's fine. Now, to close this out, I will tell you there is one thing that I do that I feel like it is reaching out to people, but it's not invading their space in a negative way. It's not the used car salesman thing. If I see somebody walking by, I will usually focus in on the t-shirts, because there's lots of cool t-shirts, and I've seen a lot of them repeatedly. You'll see the same shirt again and again, but once in a while there'll be something so unique catches my eye, and I'll be looking at them, kind of staring at them, and maybe they think I'm judging them or something, but I'm looking at them. And when they finally look my way, as if to say, "Why are you staring at me?" It's like, "Oh man, that's a cool T-shirt. I want to. What's that T-shirt say?" And I'm not doing that basically in the sense that I'm, here's an opportunity to witness somebody. I've got to grab him. I'm just interested in the T-shirt, and that's my sincere, honest approach to it. Again, it's kind of reaching out, but it's not crossing that line. Another thing is, if somebody, you can see they're doing cosplay, and they have put a lot of time, energy, and effort into making their costume, especially, if you see a lot of intricate handiwork or something, very skilled. I'm interested in that, and I might say, hey, that's great work. Can I get a picture with you with that? It's not I'm trying to corner them or wanting to witness to them. I'm just interested in having a picture with them. And I wouldn't take the picture if I wasn't interested. So again, it's being just genuine, not invading people's space, not giving people the sense that you're there to, you're part of their quota. You're going to get so many decisions for Christ today. You're not doing any of that. We're just being friendly. And of course, we're at a con. We all enjoy the fandoms, so again, when you're there, have a little bit of fun. People will see that, and it will disarm their shields down, because they realize that you're not trying to target them. We're just building relationships, and again, with the idea in mind that they're going to remember us in a positive way, and that's something that's very important when you are trying to do this type of evangelism.